Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be carrying on with The Pale Beyond, which was honestly quite traumatic in the last episode. We lost the dogs, although I refused to shoot them. They were let go though and survive on the ice as best they can. I don't know what that's there. A little UE thing perhaps. But we sailed to a new camp. We lost Kurt to a heart attack. I kind of thought that was a possibility, but I thought if he wasn't leading one of the rescue boats, one of the lifeboats, then there was a greater chance that, you know, we'd lose more people. So it was a bit of a necessary sacrifice, I suppose you'd say. So we're encamping at the Grimleys over there. Let's look across the ocean. You look out across the ocean and consider the journey thus far. Yeah, pretty hardcore. I want to see if we got our elephant seals. Oh, what's happened to Hammond? He looks awful. Oh dear. Was he losing his hair? Or was he just, has he just taken his hat off? He might have just taken his hat off. So I can feed the furnace. I can feed it. I'm going to put at least one of these in. We'll actually have enough hoosh on low rations, but let's just pop one in for now. Healed of freezing, and that's good. However, we are in the situation where we've got some frostbite. Lefty and Gnomes both have frostbite, which we've got to try and find a way to cure somehow. There's a good chance they die. We also have two wounded. I mean, Cavity's got frostbite as well, and he's wounded. I can't see any medbay. Perhaps something will become available. Why is he not available? Maybe we'll find out. He's not available. They're not available. Why are they not available? Maybe we'll find out. Let's go and do requests. Hammond.
The carpenter set me. Says we ought to get building some proper gravestones for the dead. Can't say I disagree. I'll get to it on your order.
He leaves. A proper eulogy will also be expected. It would be best if you considered your words now, Captain. This is a difficult time for all. Nutley. I have news about Kurt. Good news, mostly. He's... Oh, he's not dead. He's not dead. He's alive. He's stable. Resting now, but he should be able to walk about when we're through. He's stubborn, isn't he? Frankly, he was lucky that it wasn't worse for him. It sounds like his scouting days may be at an end. Absolutely. Captain, I am telling you, by no account can Kurt partake in any strenuous activity again. He needs as much rest as possible before we make it back to land. Thank you, Arthur. It's good to know that Kurt is okay. Indeed. I was scared for his chances, but he's tough. He leaves. Okay, well, I guess we're done with the requests. We have progressed beyond the last known location of the Viscount. Answers to its disappearance may lie on this isle. Captain, once we are through here, I would recommend you scout the area for any sign of human activity. For safety, of course. Yes, it's a good idea. Wanted to do that anyway. What's this? Visit the grave site. Let's talk to Hammond first. You see the engineer tinkering away at some navigational equipment with his usual sour expression.
Ah, shit.
He places the equipment to the side and lets out a grunt.
Damn thing still doesn't work.
Do you think it could be the environment? Hammond gives you a sideways glance.
Maybe. Couldn't begin to know. Not like we have any bloody experience for this. Not a bloody soul has come this far south. Who knows what's ahead?
Having trouble? Kurt approaches. A more noticeable limp on the man, forcing him to use his cane. Well, he's not dead. I thought he was dead, so that's good.
What do you want?
Still trying to get the compasses working again.
Threatened that I might.
The look on Kurt's face is one of hesitation, as his eyes dart around, doing all to avoid the gaze of Hammond. I may have something to declare regarding my previous actions. Carry on, Kurt. Well, I believe that in dire circumstances, pride can often take the better of us.
Stop stalling. What are you trying to say?
I would just like to apologize over our earlier scrap. I got carried away before, and I see it did neither of us any good.
You're right there.
It's not in me to hold a grudge, Hammond, least of all trapped out in this cold.
Enough with the appeals. Just spit it out, why don't you?
We should be working together, and more importantly, I am sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize. Hammond pauses for a moment while looking towards Kurt. After that moment, he returns to tinkering with his equipment before finally speaking.
Accepted.
Excuse me, what was that?
Apology accepted.
Do you wish to apologize to Kurt, Hammond?
Nay, sure. Nay, apologise.
Apology accepted, Hammond.
Nay, sure.
Well, I suppose I'll be off. Best of luck with your adjustments, Hammond.
There is no chance of getting them working here. We're relying on you.
I'm sure I'm a relic when compared to your machines.
I'm relying on you.
Ah, I see. Kurt steps away, returning to camp at large. Well, I guess we'll do the gravesite. Honour the dead. Is it just Yorick III? Here we honour the memory of Yorick III. Is that it? I mean, we've done pretty well, I think, so far. I think we're going to lose some people to frostbite. We may lose as much as 4 people at least 3, the next time we move on. But let's go over here. Alright, let's inspect the cairn. Oh, a bolt-action rifle. Inside the cairn, you find a letter, some supplies, and a bolt-action rifle. 40 food! Yes. Awesome. Read the letter. To you who finds this message, here lies the final testament of the Viscount. We made our arrival on the east shore of the island. Before moving on, we established a cabin to mark the landing point. There you will find enough supplies to support a crew of 20 for a full year. While charting the perimeter of the island, the crew came across a cavern at the mouth of the central mountain. Captain Whelan decided to split the crew in order to chart the location further. His half have elected to enter the cave through the open stream, while we have been sent to mark the western coast on land. Let me just absorb this a bit. So reading it out, I don't always do that. So, a cabin on the east shore of the island. Enough supplies to support a crew of 20 for a year. That's a priority. While charting the perimeter of the island, the crew came across a cavern at the mouth of the central mountain. His half, they're going through there, and then we're been sent to mark the western coast on land. Okay, cool. I don't trust the captain. His actions of late have been erratic, cagey. He has avoided all questions from myself and the rest of the crew. This behaviour has only exacerbated since encountering the cave. Enclosed is an instrument that may be needed in some time. If you find said instrument to be missing from this cairn, then you will know that the worst has occurred. If you are reading this in our wake, another poor crew sent to this isle, heed my advice. Turn back. There is something truly wrong with this land. It has felt the touch of the 3 sisters, cursed to swallow poor sailors whole. If you are wise, you will not allow it to happen to you. Turn back. Signed, Bertram Reynolds, head scout of the Viscount. Damn. Well, I think we can add the other elephant seal to the hoosh pot, which means keeping someone else. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the others will get cured because it was frostbite, not. Yeah. But we need it anyway. Well, let's call the crew for dinner, shall we? The crew have their meal. A wave of ease and rests falls over the crew, safe and fed. Some more decorum would be nice. Dinner ends, and slowly the crew make their way to the graves. The eulogy awaits. Okay. I guess we'll talk to some people first. Let's talk to Nutley first. Nutley approaches you.
Captain, we've come a long way, haven't we?
You're going quite a lot in that time, Nutley.
Have I? Am I any taller? Before we move on, there is something I have to confess. Something that I've carried on my back this whole time. I don't feel right keeping it from you any further, so, I allowed Captain Hunt to abandon us.
Explain.
Come on. When the ship was going down, I saw him. I watched as he grabbed his supplies and began to take off onto the ice. He saw me, but didn't say a word. He knew that I was too spineless to do anything. I couldn't even bring myself to tell anyone. He was right. I was too spineless. Until now, at least. And, well, now you know.
I don't care about the mistakes of your past. Learn from this and move forward.
Hey, I should have known better before, but you're right. I'm sorry. The truth had to come out. Do what you will with this information. I'll accept anything you decide, Captain.
Nutley walks off, returning to his tent. Oh, the lack of a medbay is really killing us. What about Templeton? Captain, we've escaped the ice. We're on land. We are so close now, shore. So very close. We both saw that cairn, Captain. Traces of the expedition which came before us. Sure. I believe we can still find the Viscount. Our mission can continue. Why is finding that ship so important to you? Because some things are greater than the lives of the individual. I've chosen to live by that philosophy my entire career. I know that after all this time the specifics of our employ may seem inconsequential. But tell me, Captain, do you think the Appertons would pour all of this effort, put this many lives at risk, if they didn't think there was something truly paradigm-shifting at the end of it? I'm curious to find it. Let's go, we're going to finish what we started. I mean, we've got to make it all worth it, haven't we? Good loyalty from him. I don't doubt we shall, one way or the other. We'll speak soon. Good luck, Captain. He stops and turns before leaving. Oh, one last thing. What happened to your captain's hat? I gave it to Junior. He's earned it after that sale. He leaves. Well, we'll talk to Kasher, I suppose.
Captain, is there something I should be made aware of?
Is this about the Apperton Company?
The tin food? No. Mr. Templeton has been snooping around, interrogating me on my report. It seems as we approach rescue, he's taken it upon himself to approve of what lies in my writing. He has taken it upon himself, correct? You didn't set him up to this, right?
Templeton is acting of his own accord.
Good to know. I'm no stranger to people who want to omit parts of my work. I saw it plenty while covering the riots, but I have no intention of censoring this report. A story not based in the truth is worthless. If I have to leave parts out or fabricate others, then was it a story worth telling in the first place?
You could always gloss it up a little. You turn your head to see Kurt approaching, apparently having eavesdropped on the conversation.
What do you mean?
Well, the story can still be plenty honest, but some require a little bit of polish.
Oh, what about your films? Weren't they the honest accounts of your expeditions?
Ah, they were. Well, more or less.
More or less?
I'm certain the films played up his heroics. He didn't like that. Now, Captain, there's no need to question my accomplishments. I never faked any of my exploits.
Then what did you mean by glossing it up?
Well, we would sometimes wait for the shot to line up before performing some actions, or recreated some events the film crew missed in the moment, but it was all genuine.
Perform?
You're right, Kurt, I shouldn't suggest you lie about this expedition.
I'm suggesting nothing of the sort, but I'm no stranger to the world of show business.
What I do isn't show business, Kurt, it's journalism.
I've been around long enough to know they're one and the same. You should hear some of the tabloid rumours I've read about in my time.
I'm aiming to be better than the gutter press, Kurt. You've been part of countless documentaries. Surely you would care about presenting the facts?
The facts are not immune to our artistic license.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Facts are the facts, Kurt. If we look bad doing it, so be it. Oh, he's hating us now. Quite a lax look at your reputation, Captain. After all the work you've put in for us.
Why are you suggesting this, Kurt?
I just feel that we've braved so much that we deserve a somewhat flattering write-up. So perhaps some omissions are necessary.
Such as what?
Many of this crew come from backgrounds best not shared with the public, and more has happened here than should remain on the ice. If perhaps a member of the crew had an unexpected health issue that made them appear weak.
Are you asking me to admit your heart attack? Pretend it didn't happen?
I'm not asking anything of you. I'm simply suggesting that the people won't want to hear anything like that. When they read of these expeditions, they want to hear of brave and daring adventurers, not ordinary men with weak hearts.
You just want to protect your own image, don't you?
What? Well, no, it's nothing of the sort, but...
I'm no fool. I see exactly what you're trying to do.
The thing is, he's taken such a hit to loyalty now. And she's had such a boost. I think we can switch it around a bit here. The man has a point, Kasha.
I disagree, Captain. I didn't think you would be so concerned about your image, Kurt.
Well, that's your mistake.
Mistake?
You can't expect me to be the perfect role model you see in the films. I'm only human. I've been married thrice, hobbled once, and been plagued with every vice there is. What I do have is my exploits and my legacy. I would wish you not to take that away from me as well.
Kasha looks to you. Her usual upbeat visage melted away into disbelief. I can't lie on your behalf, Kurt.
You don't understand the power of optics. Every part of your report puts my livelihood at stake.
Your livelihood or your image?
The cold truth is there's no difference between the two.
And you, Captain, do you believe this as well?
Kurt, leave us be. I'll speak with Kasha. Please, Kasha, take it into consideration.
I can't believe you.
It's simply a matter of painting a more flattering picture. That is no difficult task.
Maybe not for you, Kurt.
Kasha storms back to her tent as Kurt gives you an uncomfortable glance. The man looks shaken by the response and above all seems to be deeply embarrassed. Without a word, he staggers back to the heart of the camp. Yeah, we should probably deal with that. I mean, I get what she's saying. But I think he's saying it would basically destroy him if it got out that he's this weak old man. Let's look at the loyalty front. Let's just see what we're dealing with here. So Hammond is pretty good with us. Grimley is getting there. I don't know whether we'll have the opportunity to max him out, but Junior likes us. Templeton likes us again. Kurt's dropped a bit. Cordell likes us. Nutley likes us. Kasha likes us. She's actually got she's actually got a really low bar for disliking us. So yeah, so that's okay. We're doing pretty well. Everyone but Grimley, really. Visit the gravesite. The crew are called together before you. You tentatively lift yourself onto a crate. Hushed whispers, that should be whispers, roll through the audience. Kasha readies her ledger and pencil. They once again await your next words. How will you deliver them? With the weight of those lost resting on your shoulders, their loss hangs on your words. You dare not speak without acknowledgement of exactly that. The crew look to you miserable, the scars of the sail past exposed under the light of day. I'd like to begin by honouring those we've lost. The eulogy begins. The Stoke brothers begin a tune together in remembrance. Read out the names of the souls lost. It won't take long. Let's include everyone. They were part of this. They were part of the crew. You recite the names and stations of all lost to the ice and ocean. Each individual name seems to sting different groups of the crew. By the time you're finished, not a single soul is left without their affecting moment. We're going to include the dogs too. This perks up Cordell's attention. May all be granted their rest. The eulogy is ended. The crew looks to you for answers. Kurt speaks up.
Our work's not finished yet. We still have a mountain to scale. We all saw the cairn. Across that path is safety, a cabin with enough supplies to last us until rescue.
Templeton clears his throat. What is our current priority, Captain? I mean, we're going for that cabin and the supplies, but we need to scale this mountain. So let's be slightly non-committal now. No matter what, we must scale that mountain. We will know our next course of action from there. Kirk gives a nod. The assurance of solid ground seems to stir those listening. Plus 50 decorum. Thank you. Oh, that's fantastic. You know that I did check it. There is an end game state. If you run out decorum, that's game over. You can actually turn that off in the menu. I haven't done that. But for those kind of wishing a little more, a bit more of a buffer really between the end game scenario, that option is there. But we're going everything active.
Well said, Captain.
Indeed.
Well, we don't have much time. Best be moving on. Back to work.
The crew are granted the time they need before they eventually disperse, returning to their roles at camp. And that's the end of the week. I don't think there's anything more we can do. Let's zoom out. Let's have a little look at what we're looking at here. So I don't really know where because I can't look at the map. I have no idea where we are in relation to the Viscount stuff now. But let's. I'm sure we'll get that info. You dream you're back on the Temperance. Wake up shaken. You awake, shaken, literally, by the engineer. He stands over you, bug-eyed. For a moment you think you're back on the Temperance. Hammond?
Yeah, sure. It's Cordell.
What about Cordell?
The food and supplies missing from the stores.
Oh, Cordell and the rival.
Cordell!
Oh, no.
I think she's trying to make a run for it.
Why are you wasting time with me? We need to stop her. Not our food, not our gun. After getting up, the two of you charge out of the tent into the snow.
I found tracks heading up towards the mountain pass.
Right. Cordell, you were loyal. You follow tracks away from camp. It's half an hour before you finally spot her, ascending the dead mountain.
Shh, there she is.
Let's approach slowly. Follow my lead. You both creep towards her silhouette. Let's call out. Cordell? Cordell picks up on the sound, slowly turning back to you, back around to spot you both in her line of sight. She clears her throat. Captain Shaw? Hammond? To what do I owe this surprise?
Don't play coy. We know what you're up to.
Then you seem to be several steps ahead of myself. And what am I apparently up to? Please educate me. Let's give her an out. Getting a head start on tomorrow's scouting? Fine idea. A fine night for it, yes. A fine story. But I don't think either of us believe that's what I'm doing. Stanbury's expecting. Oh, puppies! Then you should be doing what's best for those pups. What does it look like I'm doing, Robin? If you leave, you're ensuring their demise. Perhaps. But there's more of a chance out here than with the rest of you. I'm not going to allow Stanbury and I to be a part of this expedition any further. Do you really think the two of you will be better off without the rest of us? I do. Those puppies will be my new litter. I'll start over. Certainly not the first time I've had to do that. The snowfall has begun to set on you both. I'm not going to duel her. Should have come to me first. We both know that wouldn't have worked. Then let me convince you now. She is loyal to me. Ah, come on. I'm listening. Stanbury's not going to leave her for me. You might feel that you don't need us, but we need you. Both of you. She's still listening. Ooh, I'm going to have to think about these. I need more people on my side who care about more than his stupid mission. You've proven you can take care of living things. Can you help me to do the same? The lady is silent for a minute. She's loyal to me, thank you. She finally walks over to you. The three of you begin the long trek back to camp. Stanbury follows patiently. Not a word is spoken on the journey back. Thank you. I knew it'd be good to get her loyalty. We still have Stanbury. Oh, hello.
Casher, careful.
Okay. You turn your head to spot Kasha perched precariously over the edge, her camera in hand, lining up another shot from her position. Where is she? I assume she's around here somewhere. I can't scroll there. Oh, okay. Oh, there she is. It's a great shot of the horizon, trust me.
You got a good shot of falling to your death. Get back over here.
Ground isn't safe. You can't trust anything beneath your feet this high up. Kasha doesn't heed their warnings, instead lining up the shot and snapping it cleanly. Uh-oh. There, no issue, and this might just be the banner image for my report. If the civilian is done being foolish, perhaps we might move on. Kasha nods and turns back around to join the rest of the crew. Yeah. Only for her to slip on the ice beneath. You lunge forward and pull Kasha forward so that she isn't hurtling over the edge, but her initial stumble sent the camera falling below. Oh, that was a close one. My camera! Be thankful the camera took the plunge and not yourself, young one. Despite reassurances, Kasha moves back to the edge of the cliff, peering over, searching for her camera. I can't lose it! Everything from this expedition was on there! Wait, I see it! Nonsense, it's a blip on the rocks. You can't see the ground from this distance. No, it's not on the ground. It's snagged on the ice. It's not too far down. I can climb back down and...
Not a hope. You want to go back to climbing?
If I lose that camera, my entire reason for being on this nightmare goes with it. I'm getting that camera. Has she not developed any of her photos yet? She turns to you. Captain, we have to do something. No. I'm sorry, but that's your own damn fault. It's just a camera, Kasha. You've still got your notes. My notes aren't enough. The world needs those photos to believe this. Aren't they? You'll have the testimony of the rest of us. The story comes from you, not that machine. Kurt steps forward.
I'll do it.
No. Have you two gone mad?
It's my understanding that was a prerequisite for attending this expedition. Let's go, Kasha.
No! Kurt affixes the rope to Kasha, locking her in tight with the climbing gear.
Leave the climbing to me. As a civilian, your safety is top priority.
I would suggest rethinking this plan of action. We cannot afford to lose our navigator.
It's because I'm the navigator that I'm going down. If I can't save that camera, no one can.
That would be the preferable option.
God damn it, you two.
Kurt pays no heed to the protests of Templeton, continuing to climb down with Kasha in tow. Thank you.
Don't thank me until the job is well done. Bad luck otherwise.
Ooh, they're risking their lives for a bloody picture box. You should stop this, sure. Get back here this instant. That's an order. I'm not crew, and you're not my editor. You can't order me around. Kurt and Kasha begin to slide down the wall of the cliff at a steady pace, Kasha keeping her eyes on the camera at all times.
Easy now, easy now. You can do this, Kurt.
Reassuring yourself isn't very reassuring to me, you know.
Okay, I think I can...
Oh, okay, I think I can get it from here. Oh, what's going to happen?
Think, both of you, please don't make any rash movements.
She collects the camera. And there we go.
Now get back up here, you madman.
Job well done. So much for bad luck.
Yes, now let's climb back up. Kurt begins to adjust the lines on his climbing gear, prepared to lead Kasia up. But the extra weight from the camera causes the rock beneath Kurt's feet to crumble, and the former film star goes hurtling back. Well, we told you so, didn't we? He snaps to a standstill, the line between himself and Kasia still intact, but the weight of the big man's fall pulls Kasia back from the face of the cliff. Blast! Kasia, are you all right?
I can't see the cliff. What's happening?
This blasted line won't hold with me. Pull us up! The rest of the crew hang back, lest any added weight at the cliff's edge cause an even more dire incident. As you look down, you see the pair flailing, helpless. Kasia spots you.
Captain!
Start cutting the rope. Oh my god, what do we do? I hate not knowing what might happen. Okay, cut the rope. Kasia and Kurt die. Kasia drop the camera. Maybe we can save them. Command the crew to pull them up. Perhaps we save them, but we might lose other people. And to be honest, at this point, they're more expendable than others. Kasia dropped the camera. Lost some research in the camera. She reluctantly drops the camera into the void. Alright, let's pull them up now. No doubt the dangling weight of Kurt is also putting strain on the back end of the rope as it's tied to a jagged rock at the peak. You notice the rope beginning to fray at the edge. So does Kurt. The navigator pulls out his knife. Kasia? She looks down at the man as he shouts. I always promised myself I'd lose a few bastarding pounds. Bit late for that, I suppose. I'm afraid the old ticker won't hold out. Can't get any more strenuous than this. Everyone, heave! Kurt and Kasia are pulled to safety. As they reach the peak, Kurt bursts into relieved laughter.
Don't laugh, that was terrifying.
We made it out all right, I think.
Still, that was, well, just like the movies.
Yes, it was all quite daring. Might we move on?
I'm glad you both made it out. I was so worried.
Can't believe this show business feat would actually be daring.
I still barely believe it myself.
But it happened, and believe me, this will be a full page in my report.
I don't require the credit.
Stop the faux humble, Kurt. You're allowed to be proud right now. You're a real hero.
I think if she hadn't dropped the camera, Kurt would have died. Because we had that loyalty check, so she could have disobeyed us, and I think that would have had bad repercussions. I actually thought Kurt was going to cut himself free and die. Maybe he would have done if she'd kept the camera. Maybe if we'd pulled them up and she still had the camera, maybe someone else would have gone over. So, yeah, I think we lost the camera, but I think we had the best possible result there. Let's go to the peak of the mountain. The crew finally crest the mountaintop. Grabbing everyone's attention is a cave in the rock wall. A cave? A good spot, some shelter from the winds. Still, what lies inside? It may prove a danger. The crew get to work, setting up camp at the peak of the mountain. Camp is set up. Scroll in a bit. Alright, let's talk to Kurt and Kasia.
Captain, it's just my luck, isn't it? To make it this far and lose the camera at the final hurdle.
We should be grateful nothing more important was lost. Like me. As Kurt approaches, Kasia lets out a small chuckle.
Yes, that is the bright side, of course.
Your life is much more important than that camera.
Yes, still, would have been nice to recover it. Of course, I'm not taking this for granted.
Ahem. There is something I should say. Past comments I made,
Forgiven.
well, allow me to apologise first.
No, I understand now. You can't convince me to lie in my report. I'll tell the entire truth.
I understand.
And the truth is that Kurt Darling is a true hero.
Oh, you needn't say that. I've caused my fair share of trouble on this expedition.
Yes, and I don't intend to hide that from anyone. But your heroism is more important to share. What did you tell me about inspiring others?
Thank you.
I can only hope another young Cassia Belford reads my report.
You deserve to be commended, Kurt. We don't deserve anything, Robin. That shouldn't be our motivation. Chasing glory has been my vice for too long. Whatever you write about me, it has my blessing. There. I can expect honesty.
Thank you, friend.
And thank you.
Okie dokie, we've got nothing to burn, so what on earth are we going to feed to the furnace? We have nothing. I have to burn the accordion. I'm confused as to why some people are locked out. Oh my god, look at them. Let's do a quick look at the current character portraits. Though everyone is a bit worse for wear at this point. Aww. Poor old frostbitten lefty. He's holding up well. Bet she regrets coming. Well, the two engineers look the worse for wear. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Glossley. Well, Ron probably wishes we'd put him off the ship. Kurt's still looking the best out of everyone, to be honest. No resources. Surely it's going to come back and bite us in the ass at some point. Alright, well, let's enter the request tent, I suppose. Templeton? Captain, it is time. We're at a crossroads and a decision needs to be made. We both read the cairn. We know the location of the Viscount lies in this cave. We are this close. Our mission's end lies in wait. What if pursuing it causes us to miss our rescue? They can always send another ship. The Appertons won't stop at one. If what we read is correct, the shore cabin should hold enough rations to last us a full year. We can afford the risk of missing a single rescue ship. I think it's worth it. We should secure the cabin first before returning. Right, of course. But this mountain is perilous, Captain. Can we survive a second trek? You should inform the crew of our movement as soon as you leave this tent. I know you will make the right call, Captain. I mean, the fact we have 0 fuel, low food. I think we should go... Okay, look. Okay, well, I'm not going to click on those. I'm assuming those are going to be our sort of choice. What have we got? Got some loyalty stuff going on. Approach Nutley and Kasha. Ah, you passed the tent and are quick to notice what's going on. Kasha, the intrepid photographer, standing close to the doctor. Their faces pressed closely together. She's alerted to your footsteps and opens her eyes. Eyes which quickly widen as you're spotted. Quickly, she and Nutley pull away from each other, their heads nervously swivelling around the tent, Nutley letting out a punctuated cough. Captain, you should have cleared your throat or something. We were just, sticking together for warmth. Clever decision. Yes, quite clever. Very, very clever of us to be doing that. That was definitely what we were, Arthur, I think our good captain was joshing us. That offshore is quite dense, and that would be a greater issue for us. Congratulations, both of you. Hey. Oh, thank you, Captain. We should be thanking you, Shaw. Placing us together in one tent for a year certainly fostered conversation. Don't blame me for this. I never considered myself a matchmaker. We spoke at length. First about his unexpectedly vast knowledge of ice fishing, and ending with casual conversation about our favourite newspaper strips. Well, it wasn't entirely casual. What do you mean? Aha, I knew you didn't notice it. Notice what? Kasha clears her throat before putting on an affected voice, dramatically quoting her past statements. Why, Doctor, I think you would be a great subject for my next report. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a write-up on your interesting life. A handsome young medical prodigy, you must have a bevy of suitors. Doctor, there is this excellent seafood restaurant in the capital. We should absolutely eat there when we return to land. Kasha chuckles to herself. I used we, for goodness sake. I was beginning to think you were oblivious to all flirtation. I recognise some of it. I was just too nervous at the time to respond. Though it's true, I did think you were just passionate about seafood.
I expect nothing less from you, Nutley. I don't know whether to take that as an insult or a compliment. But we couldn't help ourselves. Honestly, I deeply admired her passion for her craft, her headstrong way of thinking, how she was so focused on her future, everything I wanted in myself. And I admired his courage when up against his fears and possibly the worst situations possible. That's the kind of thing they make films out of. And just as I thought we were winding down, I told her I wanted to see her again after we returned to civilization. Suffice it to say, I was surprised that he would just blurt it out. I surprised myself. Before that, I'd long since stopped considering that we'd make it back. Of course, that led to a new conversation all through the morning. And before we knew it, we were having a romantic embrace at the south of the world. That is until you walked in, Captain. Yes, it was rather inopportune of you. Kasha pauses for a moment. You don't take issue with this, do you, Captain? So when will you be holding the wedding? Excuse me? Ha! Good one, Captain. Presuming all goes well, of course, not for another year or two. Or 5? Now, Doctor, you know me. I like to live fast. 5 years is fast. I think I could whittle you down. I'm joking, of course. It's far too soon to speak on that. Well, forbidden or not, we're at the end of our journey, here I hope. Matters of the crew are in the past. To sail home with Kasha, well, it's something to look forward to. It's been quite a while since we had that. Agreed. Wish you both happiness. It's what you deserve. Thank you, Captain. Now, if you'll excuse us. Ah, for warmth. An achievement there. Oh, that's cool. What else have we got? Navigator and the engineer, little love heart. You notice Hammond and Kurt huddled around the boiler, deep in conversation. As you approach, their heads perk up, noticing you.
Captain, didn't see you there.
Apologies, Captain. Seems we were both caught up in our work.
My work? You're just watching me, Kurt. But you did manage to pick out the materials.
We were just replacing the spyglass I cracked on the mountain. It may not be of any use in this cave, but you never know when we might need it next.
Aye, once again my boiler comes in handy.
What do you make of this cave, Kurt? It's an odd one, no doubt. A lot of questions we shouldn't be answering. Our priority should be to get to shore, not go spelunking.
Coming from you? Isn't that the point of your shite films?
Upon hearing that, Kurt puffs out his chest. Oh, so you've seen my films?
Just the one.
And what did you think?
Pure bollocks.
I should have figured. I haven't seen enough to judge. You've never seen my films? Well, I hope you'd amend that once we return to civilization.
You just can't get over all the inaccuracies in them.
What inaccuracies?
You take me for a fool, Kurt. I know a stage shot when I see one.
Well, they did certainly clean up a lot in the edit.
I don't get it.
What don't you understand, chum?
You're a proper bloody navigator, Kurt, and a damn hero. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Thank you.
So why do you star in all those phony films?
I wouldn't call them phony. And, well, they may not be the picture of accuracy, but they have the power to inspire people, more so than any true story could. I think the real experience is more valuable. Now, there was a time I'd argue against that, Captain. But this expedition has been one learning experience after the other for me, and I owe a lot of that to Hammond.
Me?
Yes, you've done an excellent job in humbling my ego.
What a massive ego, to be fair. Hard to miss.
Ha! Isn't that the truth? In fact, it's clear that if there's one thing I'm in need of, it's someone who can keep me grounded.
Get to it, Kurt. What do you want to say?
I was wondering, would you consider...
Spit it out, would you?
All right. Would you consider joining me after this on further expeditions?
As an engineer?
Yes, but also as a level head. I need someone like you.
I'll think about it, Kurt.
Perhaps I could join you both.
Asking for a job, Captain?
Are the 3 of us on the same crew again?
Oh, that's bound to go horribly wrong.
Perhaps, but I think our ingenuity will help us pull through. Hammond pulls up the replacement spyglass.
Anyway, here you are, all finished.
Incredible. Great work, Hammond.
No problem, Kurt.
Kahurangi.
What?
My real name. Kurt's just for the media. Kahurangi Tuhoro. From America. Hey, is he maybe Hawaiian? Something like that, perhaps? Or, I don't know. All right.
Kaharangi.
See you around, friend.
You too.
Ah, love and reconciliation in the air. Scientist. You find the crew's science officer overlooking several petri dishes containing various materials picked from the walls of the cave. Curiouser and curiouser. What's curious? Captain, observe the materials we've uncovered in just the entrance of this cave. Copper, tungsten, antimony. These are deposits more likely found in lakes, not all in a cave. Let alone a mountaintop cave in the polar region. Nothing about it seems natural. I don't like it either. Captain, may I ask you a question? Go ahead. I've assumed you must enjoy my questions at this stage. You keep humouring them. Well, regardless, we've been working together for quite some time now, and in that time, I've been able to evaluate you. After assessing your abilities and your decision-making, I can safely conclude that you are more than capable in your role as captain. As such, I would like to offer you a job. You wish to work with me again, Templeton? My wishes are irrelevant. You are more than qualified for the role. I can easily recommend you to the company head. It's time I told you the truth of who we're working for. There's even more you haven't told me? It's beneficial to keep cards close to my chest. Until you are fully evaluated. Templeton reveals a tinned can of rations. He passes it over to you. The woman modelling on the front stares back at you before you look back to Templeton. Yes, the Apton Company. I already know that. Don't focus on the name. On the face. Her. Her name is Minerva Apperton. She is the president of the Apperton Tinning Company. But why would she fund this expedition? The same reason anyone would. Tinned food is perhaps the lowest priority with the company in today's age, as you can likely tell by the shoddy work on our rations. Instead, Lady Apperton is focused on turning her company into the only option in commerce, which is why she sought after the expedition of the Viscount. She's interested in what the Viscount found in the ice. Tell me everything you know. No doubt there are several details Minerva has kept hidden from even myself, but I will tell you what I can. The original expedition of the Viscount was carried out by the government, a race to find the southernmost point of the world, charter it out in the name of glory and science. But upon its arrival, it appears they discovered the same strange environments as we have, and so they chose to investigate instead of heading back. And contrary to legend and hearsay, it wasn't the cold and starvation that drove the crew mad. It was what they found there that took their minds. Ooh. And just what did they find? That part remains a mystery, but what we do know, there was a witness, a survivor washed ashore. Half mad, their tongue cut out, they lived only long enough to give us a hint at what we're looking for. It is unknown what exactly lies in wait for us should we find the Viscount, but from what we know, the crew of that vessel found something world-changing. This is no mere treasure. What they found was unnatural in nature, a paradox existing at the southern point of the world. And whoever can retrieve it, bring it back to civilization, will shape the path of human advancement for the next century. Hearing that, I believe I'm being underpaid for a mission of this magnitude. Yes, I can assure you a greater rate of pay should we be able to recover the secret of the Viscount.
Oh. I'm very curious to see it.
I think we have to see it, don't we? But hopefully with the save tree system we can go back and see the alternative ending as well. Let me just check the length of the video. Okay, so it's going on a little bit for time. So what I'm thinking is we'll reach the next save point, wherever it is. I'm hoping it's before we have to go into the cave. And then we'll end it. And I think what we'll do is then come back for a final episode. It sounds like it's kind of getting towards the end game now. And I'll do my best to sort of see both endings in that same video. Because I do want to get rescued, but I'm also very curious to see what's in this cave. It almost sounds a bit Lovecraftian, doesn't it? I'm expecting to find like Cthulhu down there or something, you know. driving sailors mad at the very sight. It is very Lovecraftian. And to be fair, I think in the first or second video, someone left a comment saying, "Oh, there could be Lovecraftian themes in this." And I had kind of read an interview with the developers saying, no, they'd kept it very realistic, unlike the Terror book and show, which did have these supernatural elements. But it sounds like they're teasing a little something here. So yeah, I think we are going to go down this route. But yeah, let's address the endings in the same episode. Is kind of what I'm saying. Then it is our top priority to recover what the Viscount found. Precisely my thoughts, Captain. It is good to see we are both of the same level of mind. Now, I have told you all that I know. Please leave me to my research. You turn, but Templeton speaks up once more. Oh, Captain. You never officially responded to my offer. Do you wish to work with the Apton Tinning Company after this? I'll take it under consideration. See that you do, Captain. Ooh, mysterious. I like it. Speak to the Kennel Master. I wish to speak with you on a matter. What matter? Concerning your report. Put simply, I have a story for you to include regarding, who I am. You're a Kennel Master. That is true, but not the whole truth. Well, this is sudden. I've been curious about your past. I have no doubt you were. Cordell turns to Kasia as the reporter quickly scrambles to gather her notepad and pen. Now, I'm certain you've heard them call me Lady Cordell. Yes, frequently. I asked around, and apparently it was a moniker granted to you due to how you spoke. Well, those who dub me with that name have no idea the irony in doing so. The truth is, I am a noble, or rather I was. What? I suspected you might have had an upper-class background. Your suspicions have not done you wrong, Shaw. I was born and raised within the nobility. I don't mean to call you a liar, but that's just a big claim. Ingrid Cordelia Weston. What? Yeah, well, let me click. You keep your ear to the ground often. I'm sure you have heard of her. Yes, actually. She's a distant relative of the monarchy. Had a seat as an MP for a brief period. Went missing unexpectedly. Well, I am Ingrid Cordelia Weston. Let her continue. I have all the proof I need to show you. No need, I believe you. You do? It would certainly be an odd thing to lie about. I assume you are aware of the political system, Kasia. To no end. Researching it was possibly the most dull and harrowing part of my last report. And you yourself, Captain? Vaguely. Well, then allow me to refresh your memory. When, well, as a distant cousin of said monarch, I was placed in one of those parliamentary seats. As you can imagine, I had no interest in being an MP. My aversion towards human interaction was no different in my youth. From the age I received my first dog as a gift in my childhood, I have much preferred their company. Surely that was a time when you weren't such a recluse. Well, you have encountered and interviewed many of the nobility in your time, correct? Correct. Would you choose to spend your time amongst those people? Fair point. So, this whole time we've been travelling with a runaway MP. Yes, I suppose it does sound quite unusual. I've learned not to be surprised at this stage. But why did you leave? The reasons for that are quite simple. I refuse to live that life any longer. In that world, in my position, certain things were expected of me. Act with decorum, attend every social event, keep your real self hidden until you're considered suitable to be shipped off into a political marriage. A grim reality, and one I wanted no part of. My choice was clear, and I didn't hesitate in my thought for a moment. I left home in the dead of night, taking only 2 things with me. My certificate of birth, for reasons more practical than sentimental, and my dog, for reasons more sentimental than practical. I started a breeding kennel in the capital, earned the moniker of Lady Cordell amongst the common folk, and from then I was free. Free to feel the ground beneath my feet. As Cordell speaks, Kasia intently takes notes. I see. Come on. So, trapped in a restrictive role in society, you broke free of your chains, yearning to be independent. I suppose, yes. Just like a wild pack of dogs, able to roam free. Please do not include a surface-level poetic interpretation of my actions. Poetics are my calling, but okay. So, have you ever considered returning to the nobility? Not even slightly.
That life is simply not for me. Thank you for sharing that, Cordell, but why have you shared this with me? Why now? My report, it will expose your identity to everyone. Why would you allow that? Because I trust you to tell my story, and I no longer have anything to hide. Well, thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I'll tell the whole truth of your tale. I know you will, assuming you leave out that tripe about wild dogs. And yourself, Captain? Speaking of dogs, how is Stanbury? Faring well, still pregnant. What? Stanbury is pregnant? Yes, quite fortunate for me, after what happened to my kennel. It was a stroke of good luck. Yes, our fortunes are funny in a way. I intend on replacing the kennel I lost, piece by piece. Stanbury will birth a new generation of sled dogs. So you'll be continuing your line of work? Yes, I'd much sooner begin again as a kennel master than return to the nobility. Agreed. So that's your entire story? More or less, yes. I'm sure Captain Shaw has no objections to this tale. What say you, Captain? I never would have expected. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate your listening. I can't believe you would trust us with. Thank you, friend. Do not mistake this for closeness. I simply trust your credentials enough to consider you a professional. But you're welcome, friend. You turn and leave Casher and Cordell. I'm going to check out the loyalty again. So Cordell, full loyalty. Grimly Stoke probably won't get his loyalty. Hammond loyalty. Junior loyalty. Casher full loyalty. Nutley full loyalty. Kurt very nearly full loyalty. Templeton full loyalty. We've done pretty good on that front, if I do say so myself. You overhear the brothers engaged in what sounds like an argument.
What did you say?
Oh, I'm sorry, Grimly, but I can't fool myself any longer. Let's face it, Hunt abandoned us.
Wrong.
That's all you have to say? Grimly, we've been out here so long. He left without a word. He left us to die, to be torn up in a blizzard, to be eaten by a seal, whatever else. He didn't care, did he?
You don't know what you're saying. I know Hunt better than you, Junior. The captain would never...
He's not our captain.
What?
Junior's right. We're going to lose even more Grimly, but I don't think we're going to get it anyway. Junior is right. Hunter is a traitor to this expedition. Yeah, well...
Shut your mouth, Shaw.
No, Shaw's right. If it wasn't for Hunt, we wouldn't be stuck here. He did this to us.
Fine.
Come on. Grimly storms off, marching towards his tent. Junior only lets out a sigh in response. Oh. We were never going to get Grimly's loyalty, were we? Got nothing to add to the hoosh. It's a shame when Cordell came back to the camp, she didn't top up the fuel that she took. Hey. Can we... No, we can't get the sailors to get rid of any freezing stuff. Right. You notice that the compasses are pointing directly towards the cave. You know what? I'm actually going to end it here, but I'll continue recording, so I don't need the save point. We're just going to... yeah, we'll come back directly into the next episode where we'll go into the cave. I think that's probably for the best. So thanks very much for watching this episode of The Pale Beyond. It's very mysterious now. I'm really enjoying where the story's going, and I hope you are too. And if you did enjoy this episode, please do hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment too, because it's always great to hear what you guys are thinking about any game, but particularly this and this playthrough. And subscribe to the channel as well, if you're watching this and haven't done so before, because that would be fantastic. So thanks very much once again, and I'll hope to see you next time for what I think will be the conclusion of The Pale Beyond. Bye for now.